Let's talk about something we all see every single day, but maybe don't really think about. Our buildings. They're just there, right? But what if I told you that these huge structures are actually hidden engines, and they're driving a massive chunk of our planet's carbon problem?
All right, let's get right into it, because the impact these buildings have is, frankly, pretty mind-blowing. We're about to uncover a huge energy secret that's hiding in plain sight all around us.
So let's just start with one number, 40%. That's it. A full 40% of all global CO2 emissions come from our buildings. That is an enormous slice of the pie, way bigger than most people think, and it's exactly why we need to be talking about this.
And this picture really says it all, doesn't it? We look at these incredible modern buildings and we see progress. But behind all that beautiful glass and steel, there's this invisible beast with a massive appetite, just constantly gulping down energy to keep us all comfortable inside.
Okay, so where is all that energy actually going? Well, most of it comes down to a single, constant struggle: controlling the climate inside these giant boxes.
And when you look at the breakdown, wow, it's not even close. That huge chunk right there, HVAC, which is just a fancy acronym for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, can be responsible for over half of a commercial building's entire energy bill. It just dwarfs everything else.
And here's the thing. For decades, the way we've handled all this is, well, it's been a total mess. We've got separate systems for heating, separate systems for cooling, another one for ventilation. It's like having 4 different clunky tools for a job that one smart tool could do, all of them fighting with each other for space and power. It's just inefficient. But the good news is that's finally starting to change. There's this huge global push for a smarter, greener way to build, and it's being driven by some really clear standards, and some pretty powerful incentives too. A big part of this shift comes from something called EDGE. It's a green building certification from the World Bank, and it's not about vague promises. It's all about real, measurable savings in energy, water, and materials. And the new gold standard everyone's chasing? It's called EDGE Advanced, which basically means your building is ready to be net zero carbon. And believe me, this is not some small niche trend. As this quote gets at, it's a golden age for this stuff. We're talking billions of dollars flowing towards the greenest, most efficient buildings because investors know that's where the smart money is. Sustainability is now a huge financial driver. So if the old way is this inefficient jumble of systems, what does the answer look like? Well, it means we have to think about the problem in a completely new way. I mean, what if you could just get rid of that whole messy, complicated toolbox and replace it with one single, elegant tool that could handle everything? Well, here you go. This is a VMF system. It's pretty much the next generation of building technology. It takes everything we've been talking about and bundles it into one super efficient unit that just sits on the roof. Seriously, the best way to think about it is like a Swiss Army knife for your building's climate. It does your heating, it does your cooling, it gives you 100% fresh air, which is amazing for air quality. It even makes hot water for the bathrooms and controls the humidity. It's the whole shebang in one smart box. Okay, that all sounds great on paper, but how on earth does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside. Now, this diagram is really the key to the whole thing. The system is always pulling in 100% fresh air from the outside. No stale, recirculated air. But here's the genius part. As it pushes the old indoor air out, it runs it through a heat exchanger that steals the energy, the heat or the cold, and transfers it to the fresh air coming in. It's so clever. It basically pre-treats the air, so the machine barely has to work to get it to the perfect temperature. So that box on the roof is doing all the hard work, but how does that comfort actually get into the rooms you're in? Well, instead of pumping nasty refrigerant gas all through the building, it sends clean, conditioned water to these really sleek-looking units called active chilled beams. That means zero refrigerant in the spaces where people are, and since there are no moving fans, they are totally silent and there are no annoying drafts. So let's just recap what this actually means for the people inside. First, you're always breathing fresh, clean air. Second, the humidity is perfectly managed, which feels way more comfortable. And third, you get rid of all the noise, the risky refrigerant lines, and the hassle of constantly having to maintain filters inside every single room. It's just better. So when you add all of these pieces together, the effect it has on a building's performance isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer. Okay, this chart right here, this is the mic drop. Compared to old systems, the VMF system can cut energy use by 75 to 100%. It takes up half the space on the roof. The air quality is infinitely better, and it's safer. It's a completely different league. And here it is in black and white. This is the SEER rating, which is just a measure of energy efficiency,
All you need to know is, the higher the number, the better the system. So, conventional systems, they average around 3.75. The VMF system, it can get all the way up to 5.66. That is just a massive, massive leap forward.
So really, this is the big idea I want you to walk away with. Technology like this isn't just a cool upgrade for a single office building. It's actually a blueprint for how we can build our cities from the ground up to be healthier, way more efficient, and truly sustainable for the long haul.
Which really leaves us with one final thought. Our cities are going to keep growing. That's a given. So the real question is, are we going to build them using the broken, carbon-heavy tech of the past, or are we going to design them with the smart, integrated solutions of tomorrow? The technology is already here. The choice is ours to make.